As I've listened to the stories of thousands of women of all ages, in all kinds of stages, through the years, I've kept their stories locked in the vault of my heart. I feel as if they've been walking around with me all through these years. They've bothered me, they've prodded me, and sometimes kept me up at night. Ultimately, they've increased my passion to reframe and reimagine the powerful positions of mother and matriarch within the family system. I'm a problem solver, so I set out to find a way to perhaps change the trajectory of this silent and sad scenario about a dynamic yet untapped source of potential and purpose sitting in our homes and churches. It is time to come to the table, Heartlifters, and unleash the power of maternal presence into the world. Welcome to Mothering for the Ages, our 2025 theme here on today's Heartlift. I'm Janelle. I am your guide here on this heartlifting journey. I invite you to grab a pen, a journal, and a cup of something really delicious. May today's conversation give you clarity, courage, and a revived sense of camaraderie. You see, you're not on this journey alone. We are unified as Heartlifters and committed to bringing change into the world, one heart at a time. Oh, Heartlifters, okay, I need you to find a quiet space because I think that my conversation today with Naeem Fazal, did I do it right?
Yes, you did.
Starting off with a win, is really going to arrest your attention, take your breath away, and speak really providential prophetic words into your life. I really feel that way. I felt that way when I first saw his book, Tomorrow Needs You. I mean, who wouldn't pick up a book whose title says Tomorrow Needs You? Who wouldn't pick up that book? I see it in airports, like it's crazy. And then the subtitle, which was a little like, wow, okay, seeing beauty when you feel hopeless. And I told you that, you know, working in trauma therapy like I do as a marriage and family systems trauma-informed coach, at the end of my 13 years, I just saw how vital it was that my clients get beauty in front of them, all around them, and activate all of their senses. Here we are, and I am so excited. You have you're like a diamond to me. There are so many facets of your story, Naeem, and I want to talk about all of them, but we can't. But I wonder if you could just give us a condensed version of the miracle content in your life. Condense God's miraculous movement in your life.
Wow. First of all, thank you for having me. Second of all, I don't think I've ever been called a diamond.
Well,
But
you are a
like
diamond.
I'll take it.
Oh, a
I will
prism, a
take it.
diamond? Like,
Yes.
you know?
I think everybody needs to be a diamond instead of, you know, the old illustration of, you know, we're all onions, you know, that we peel back. I
don't
think
really
we're
like
actually
onions.
diamonds.
Yeah, I don't like onions.
Yeah, no one likes onions.
No, but I love a
But
good diamond. Like, I like mine. You put it in the light, and
yeah.
it's just like,
Well, you know, Jewish rabbis had this idea of the uh, I think it's called in the 70 faces of the Torah. So they likened the Torah as like to a diamond. They said that
no,
like if you take a gem, for example, and you put it towards the light, and every time you move it, you see a part of the gem you've never seen before.
that's
And
right.
so so it's really, there's a phrase called turning the gem, which is
What?
yeah. And so when you turn the scriptures, you see something about God that you'll never see before. What's beautiful about that is that when you consider people and souls as these gems, which are we are, you know, we're
We are.
wonderfully beautifully created by God, and we are complex beings. And so when we
Yeah.
have the light of God shine on us in different seasons of our life, you see a
Hmm.
particular kind of beauty, a particular kind of personality, something you've never seen before. And so
Yes.
I think it's so tough, because obviously physically even, with lighting, people
Mhm.
look so different depending on the lighting. Right. So your soul looks very different depending on the light as well.
Yes.
So, anyways,
So we're
yeah,
shining the light on a few of your facets today.
yes.
And if
So,
there are the other books that you have that people, my readers, my heart lifters can go get to learn about other facets, but you do
okay.
have
Yes,
a miraculous story of coming to
yes,
the
do.
faith. So I cannot be remiss in not asking you.
Okay, okay. So you want me to jump into that?
Jump right in.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. So yeah, my story really started. It starts when I came to faith in Jesus, but I have to give the backstory a little bit.
Yes.
So I grew up as a Pakistani kid.
Mm.
I have two brothers, two sisters, and we grew up not in Pakistan, but actually in Kuwait. So you grew up in Kuwait in the Middle East, but since we were Muslims. The culture was Muslim as well, so it was very similar to
Mm.
what our, to us, and it was familiar to us.
Hmm.
But yeah, I grew up there, and I came to the States in 1992 after the Gulf War.
Mm,
Now,
mm, mm.
in my first book called Ex-Muslim, I talk
Yes.
about that,
Yes.
and
I
not
have to
that the
get that
book
one. Hmm.
yeah, so it's not about being anti-Muslim. It's just that I was a Muslim and now I've met Jesus. And so, yeah, so I came here in 1992 after the first Gulf War, if you remember that. That
Oh,
happened in 1990.
clearly. Clearly.
Yeah,
Yes.
so my brother was so we were all in the States. My brother was older than me. He got accepted to a college in the States, came here, came back and told me and my siblings that he was a Christian. And
Oh.
yeah, that was crazy. And I threatened to kill him. So that was the first time I heard about Jesus. So now he goes back to college, and Iraq
Wow.
invades Kuwait. This is 1990, and
Yes.
we survived the war. We were there throughout the liberation,
Mm, mm,
and
mm. Mm.
came here after that in 1992. And my brother invited me to FCA, Fellowship for Christian Athletes. And so I was like, I'm not really interested in all that. And I knew that he was like this Jesus guy. And I'm like, I just don't want to be a part of this, man. Because I wasn't really looking for God. I wasn't looking for religion. I wasn't looking for anything. And in
Mm.
fact, this might explain why I wrote this book and why
Okay.
the cover of this book looks like this is because when I came to the States, I wanted to be an art major. So I was thinking I was going to be an artist. I was going to do this. And
Wow.
yeah. So I end up in FCA.
Okay.
And
This is starting to make sense to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
I end up in FCA, and that's where I hear about the gospel, this idea of a God who's very personal, a God who's very relational. And, Islam is just not like that. So I was like, I don't even
Mm.
believe any of this. And then my brother was convinced that if I would just ask Jesus to reveal himself, he'll do it.
Mm.
I thought this was just nuts. He was crazy. So we spent like weeks debating on it, and I was making fun of him, and it was not good. But I was like so intrigued by the idea that this
Mm.
could be possible.
Hmm.
Anyways, so once Tuesday, it was a Tuesday night, right after the meeting, they were ending in prayer, and I looked up and I just said, if this is even true, half true, I want to know. And so yeah, I went. I didn't. That's it. That's all I did, and that's nothing happened. And
Wow.
I thought nothing of it. And then a couple of days later, I was in my bed trying to
Mm.
fall asleep, and all of a sudden, I feel like my body's reacting to something that I can't really see.
Oh.
Like it wasn't just fear, it was like death had walked into the room. I'm
Oh.
not quite sure. Couldn't explain it to you.
Sure.
And then I'm just trying to look around to see what's going on, and something grabs me.
Oh.
I mean, seriously, this is where the story gets crazy. Something grabs me uh from my shoulders, drags me and pins me to my pillow. And so I just react to get out of it, and something sits on me, and I'm now
Oh.
paralyzed. I cannot move. The
Mm.
only thing I can move is my neck, and I start just screaming out, like calling for my brother who was in the other room, and
Mm.
I'm like, oh, I can't hear myself saying. I mean, I can't hear it. anything coming out of my mouth. So now I'm distraught. I don't know what to do. I'm
Sure.
freaking,
Panicked, freaking out.
yeah, freaking out. I'm looking in the room. It looks like it looks evil. I'm like, what is happening? And I was thinking,
Wow.
am I in a dream? I just need to
Yeah.
wake up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I didn't even fall asleep. I mean, nothing, you know? And so the door opens up, and I kid you not, I kid you not. This this thing walks in, and this is where the story gets really crazy and
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable.
Right.
And like in Islam, we just don't talk about demons and angels a whole lot.
Mm.
But this thing was clearly like this
Oh.
walking gargoyle
Oh, awful.
demon thing. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was looking at even.
Mm.
And so it came closer and it starts communicating and basically is saying something to the effect that it's going to kill me and I'm going to die tonight. And I'm just freaking out. Like now I'm like, did I?
Full-fledged panic. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, did I? Who did I tick off
Who
upstairs?
did I
That's what
tick off? Yes.
like, was it Allah because I went to
Woo.
FCA?
Oh,
Was it?
you definitely stirred the pot for sure.
Yeah. Was it
Yes.
Jesus because I was like arguing and making fun of him and I didn't believe any of this? I was like, who? And so this thing gets closer. I kid you not. I'm praying to any God out there. I'm like Allah, Buddha, Oprah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody, whoever, whoever,
Mother
please help.
Teresa, who are you?
Yes, anybody.
Oprah. That's
And
hysterical. I'm sorry.
so this thing gets closer,
Oh,
and all of a sudden is disappears, and I'm like stunned in my bed, uh, going, what just happened? So I run out of the room, wake up my brother, and I tell him what happened, and he goes, oh, this stuff is all real.
oh,
And I'm like, what do you mean this stuff is all real? Because I was hoping he would just say, you just had a bad dream.
yeah. No,
This
no,
is this
no.
not real stuff.
Well, he said,
But
let God
he
reveal
says,
himself to you, right? So here, I know
yeah,
that, yeah, I mean, hello.
yeah. So then he says this to me, which I'd never heard before, obviously. And he said, oh, this kind of stuff is in the Bible. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and now looking back, I don't think people realize how many
Mm-hmm.
supernatural things are in the Bible, especially
Mm-hmm.
in the life of Jesus. So
Yes.
he starts telling me about them. And then I'm like blown, my mind is blown. I'm like, I just don't know what you're saying
I'm
here. I
sorry.
can't
That's
believe.
so awful.
And then so he tells me about the gospel, talks to me about what it means, what is salvation, talks about repenting of sins and what God might be doing and this and that. He tells me a lot of things. And then finally I just stop him and I go, you know what? Listen, I just think there's something out to kill me. So
Mm-hmm.
I need some real help.
Help.
And then he says this. He says, well, there's only one person I know who has authority over demons and angels. And I'm like, who? And he was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
And I was
Only
like, all
one.
right. I was like, all right, let's do this. And he was like, all right, you want to pray? I'm like, yes. So he said, okay, why don't you repeat after me? And I was about to, but before I did that, I wanted to have a really honest, real
Mm.
prayer. And so I remember saying this. I said, this is my first interaction with Jesus. I said,
Mm.
Jesus, I don't know who you are.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So I can't say you're the Lord of my life.
Mm.
I don't know anything about you. So I can't say I love you. I can't make any promises.
Mm.
But if you will save me from this, I'll give you my whole life.
Been there. Mm.
So I did that. He prayed for me.
Mm-hmm.
I repeat after him, Amen, Amen. I open my eyes. He is like ecstatic. He's
Oh,
smiling.
he's
He's
so
loving it.
happy.
He was so happy. He was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this. Oh my gosh, I can't
Oh,
believe it." And
well, I
I
was
am
scared
like,
to it.
yeah. And well, for me, I was like, well, that's great, but I'm still scared to death. Like I'm
So I ain't going in
nothing
that
happened.
room.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then he was like, I kid you not. Then he was like, all right, man, I'll see you in the morning. And I'm like, no, I'm spooning you for a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's happening. I'm not doing this. Like, he goes, no, 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 you got to go back in the room. And I'm like, no,
I am
no.
sleeping here.
Yeah, I'm sleeping right here, buddy.
Teddy
Get
bear.
comfortable. It's
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
So
Cross is in my hand. Right.
right, right. And he gives me, so he goes, I got you, I got you. And he says, let me give
Oh,
you a Bible. And he gives me a Bible that's smaller than
oh,
my iPad.
Oh
You
gosh.
know the Gideon Bibles, like the
Yes,
the green ones.
I
It's the
do.
New Testament. So
Yes. Like,
imagine this. Imagine this. I have never held a Bible. I'm a Muslim kid. I'm like, this is the Bible.
oh, my face hurts.
And I was like, do you have something bigger? I'm like, because if I'm going to go back in the room, I need something bigger to throw
I
at
need
Dean.
a
You know what I'm saying?
big family Bible.
Right, right.
Yes.
Yeah. But he was like, no, no, you're fine.
Oh
Just go back in the
gosh.
room. You'll be
I need to
fine.
go back to sleep.
Right. And so finally, I go back in the room. I turn on all the lights, and I'm
Oh,
here
sure
reading
are.
John.
Oh God.
And I gotta tell you, I was just
Oh.
freaked out. I was like, when you're spooked, not
Mm,
that
mm.
you can't get like
No.
everything makes a sound. Like
Yes.
the
Oh,
house
yes.
all of a sudden becomes alive.
Right away.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So an
Whew,
hour
I'm
into it,
stressed.
I know. Now, an hour into it, I'm like, I get so mad. I don't know why. I just get so mad. I'm like, you know what?
Mhm.
I just came here. It's been like 3 weeks since I've been in the U.S.
Wow.
I'm I I didn't like I don't I'm trying to get into college. I
Yeah.
didn't graduate from high school.
Oh.
I've been held at gunpoint. I've
Oof.
gone through, all these
Not
gone
really
through
the best
details
time
and
in America to show up, I don't think either.
right,
Your TED
right.
Talk talks about that, so I'll just
Yeah,
link everyone to that because
right.
it's very informative and very present day. Very,
Yeah.
very good. So,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you. Yeah, so I just get frustrated. I go shut off the lights. I look up again. I get to my bed, look up again, and I say, "You know what, Jesus? If I die tonight, it is
Mhm.
your fault." Like I don't even know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. I mean, again, I don't know what to say.
This is fantastic. It's so right, though. It's so honest. Like, I
So
don't know
then,
you. Why would I? Yeah.
yeah. So the next thing I put the covers on my head, and the next thing I know, and this is where it gets crazy. Next thing I know is I find myself sitting on my bed, looking at this presence,
Ooh,
and
ooh.
he says, "I'm Jesus, and your
Mm.
life is not your own."
Wow.
Now,
Give me chills.
I've never
No.
felt peace so aggressive.
Okay. Yep. There you go. Hmm.
And I remember it's so crazy because I can't even explain what was
No.
looking at.
Hmm.
I was looking at him, but I was inside of him. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
It
No.
felt like my body could not just handle being in his
Uh-huh.
presence in this
Right.
dimension. Like he was like I don't know. I
No,
can't
it's
even
liminal
explain.
space. It's yeah, it's unexplainable, mysterious. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
his presence was so intoxicating. I
Oof.
remember him saying, "Your life is not your own." And
Mm.
yeah, I
Mm.
fell asleep. And the morning
Oh.
I woke up the next morning and I felt like I had gotten a download. I knew I was supposed to be in ministry. I knew I was supposed to change. I was not supposed to go to be an artist. I just knew I was, and
Oh,
I didn't even know what
wow.
ministry meant. And
Mm-mm.
then yeah, that started a journey, a 3 year like.
Mm.
I mean, I was in college, and for 3 years, I just didn't. I just focused on just understanding and developing my relationship with him, understanding Christianity, understanding
Mm.
the Bible. I didn't date for 3 years. I
Wow.
mean, I was
I love
just,
the 3-year thing. That's very biblical, by the way.
yeah, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was supposed
Fascinating.
to yeah. And so, yeah, so that's fast forward now.
Wow.
That's the story. And then I'll just say this, then we can jump into Tomorrow Needs You, my book. But
Yes.
I have two brothers and two sisters, and all have come to faith in Jesus since then. Because and Ex-Muslim, that book chronicles my story
Good.
and the
Okay.
story of my family all coming to faith
It's
in
amazing.
supernatural ways. So that's that.
Doesn't
But
surprise me that he reached out to you in that way because I think I mean there's such a real war going on in between the kingdom of God and the kingdom here and so it's amazing. And
yeah.
tomorrow needed you. So here we are.
Yeah. Seems like it. It seems like it. Yeah,
Your
for
book
sure.
is in 3 parts, which I
Hmm.
really love. Part 1 is Yesterday Has Forgotten You. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Part 2 is Today is Waiting. Part three is tomorrow needs you. So,
Correct.
in the world that I live in with counseling, psychology, therapy, coaching, the mental health field, right? Emotional healing, all of that jazz. Yesterday has forgotten you is not a common theme.
Really?
We spend a lot of time uh, looking at the past,
Yeah.
and here's your media kit that I love and adore that says forgetting the past. And I just wrote on there this, like, if we are, let me read this. God is calling you and me, regardless of what happened to us, he's calling us to the future.
Hmm.
He
Yes.
knows that our dreams and aspirations and all the beautiful things exist in the future. This evokes such deep emotion in me. If we are consumed with the things of yesterday, we cannot tap into the possibility of tomorrow. I mean, that's
Correct.
good preaching there, like
Right.
good writing. But that idea of forgetting the past, just let it go. Just let it
Yeah.
go. Sister, just let
Right.
it
Right.
go. Brother, just
Right.
let it go. Get in the prayer line, let it go. Okay. Is and that yesterday has forgotten you. It's just it's a bit mind-blowing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, I don't like telling people like, hey, uh, uh, you know, don't worry about
Hmm.
the past, forget the
Hmm.
past. In my book, I talk about the idea where we are infatuated with the past, like we're
Hmm.
infatuated with a relationship, maybe a romantic relationship,
Hmm.
maybe a friendship. It's
Hmm.
like it's why we get on Facebook and all of a sudden go to the past and just go back and
Immediately.
find all the people because we're infatuated with the past. And
Hmm.
my idea is like the past is not infatuated with us. So if it was a relationship, like
Hmm.
yesterday has forgotten you. Like you guys were a thing, but you're no longer a thing. It's like going back to an ex and still trying to rekindle something. And so if it's good or bad, you
Hmm.
can't rekindle the past. And as long as you live there,
Hmm.
you see, we have to reconcile the past. We have
Hmm.
to reconcile it and
Yes.
then move forward. But we can't rehearse it. And
Oh,
see,
there it is.
we go back and rehearse it, and
That's it.
as you're an expert in this, we're trying to, as we go back and look at people's past trauma, we're not trying to rehearse it just to regurgitate it. No,
No.
we're trying to reconcile it so we can
Yes.
close the books on it and say,
Gives me chills. Yes.
now that we've done this, we got to move on and do something else. Because, see, the thing is that some people, like what I talk about in the book, some people we think that moving forward in life is we need to concentrate, or not, we need to conserve the past. And
Mhm.
and if we can't live today, our lives conserving everything that happened in the past,
No.
back in the so let's tell the stories of the past. Let's talk about the past.
Again and
Let's
again.
again. No, but because if you live, you can either live your life conserving the past or creating the future. Yeah,
That's incredible.
and so in the book I talk about how hope, that we all want
Yes.
hope. But
Mhm.
do you know one thing that does not exist in the past? Hope.
Hope. That's what you say.
Hope
It's
doesn't exist in the
really
past.
disarming and messing up my hair and my life. And I think I want it to mess up everybody's mind and shake it up in all the right ways because you say yesterday has forgotten you. Why don't you reconcile it and close the book? I like the way that you say that. Like the way I say it is we bring the past into the present long enough to make sense of it and make meaning of it. And I
Right.
would now add reconcile it so that we can move on and live in the present
Right. Right.
and
We
have
have
this
we
future. Yeah,
yeah, we
hope.
have to we have to learn from the past.
Hmm.
You can't ignore the past.
No, you have to make meaning with it. That's
You
proven.
got to,
Hmm.
and especially
Yes.
in trauma,
Yes.
you've got to have bring meaning to, well,
Hmm.
okay, not why did it happen, but
Right.
but there's so many questions, and
Hmm.
that's why this book is really about post-traumatic growth, because
Yes.
it's not about, it's
Sorry, I
about the
get so
fact that there's,
excited.
yeah, it's about the fact that like the trauma does break us,
Hmm.
it does,
Hmm.
but it does not have to shape us.
No. How, tell
It
me
does not. It
your
does not
thoughts
have
on
to.
that. Why?
Yeah, so for example, like the one of the beautiful things about writing this book is that I've been able to tell the stories of so many people. Like, so every chapter is a story of someone who's come out of traumatic experiences,
Great.
and so and it's pretty hard hitting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what happens is that, like, I'll tell you, let me use my dad for example. And you mentioned the TEDx talk,
Hmm.
and
Yep.
he's in there as well, and so why did I call it Tomorrow Needs You? Let me explain why.
Yeah.
Because my dad, for those of you who do not know, my
Hmm.
dad tried to commit suicide,
Hmm.
failed at committing suicide, and as I was talking to him about it and his depression, and he was sharing with me, one of the things he said was, "No one needs me."
I know.
No one needs me. And I said, look around, Dad. He was like, no one needs me. I've lost everything. And what he started doing was he was starting to
Mm.
talk about how the business, the opportunities, the life that he lost in the war, which,
Hmm.
I was a kid, I was a teenager, so I lost some things, but he was an adult and lost a kid,
Successful. Very successful,
successful.
right?
Yeah.
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 And then he came here, and
Mm.
because of the language barrier, I mean, all he could work was at a grocery store, or sorry,
Oh,
not even a
yeah.
grocery store, a convenience store.
Convenience store. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the typical idea, like, yes,
Oof.
the picture you see, he lived it, and it was like so heartbreaking for him. Like he
Mm.
could not function. And so it was traumatic for him to move to the
Very.
state, and
Yeah.
it broke him.
Yeah.
It broke him. When he said no one needs me, I was like, I said, Dad, I need you. I need you.
Mm.
And so then that's why I wrote this book called Tomorrow Needs You, because
Hmm.
the lie of depression, in a sense, the lie
Yes.
of um of
Hopelessness,
the
right?
enemy, hopelessness, is that
Hopelessness.
no one needs you.
I've been
So
there.
might as well end it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Might as
I'd
well
be
just
better off without me.
right. They'll be better off. They'll be
Hmm.
better off.
Hmm.
And and so that's why I wrote this book, because I just have too many
Oof.
people in my life who've committed suicide. Now, my
Mm.
dad passed away a year or 6 months after he tried to commit suicide, but
Didn't succeed. Did not succeed.
he did not
Crazy.
succeed. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, and so what happens there though is that, so when people focus on the fact that trauma breaks them, they're just broken. And that's why I love
Mm.
that's why I talked about beauty, because
I
I
know.
believe with Jesus, we are the broken becoming beautiful. Like,
Oh, kintsugi,
are.
right? The Japanese art
Yeah.
form. Oh, there's just,
Right.
yes. I mean, we can, the thing I say here is the longest journey to healing is from the head into the heart, right?
Mhm.
It's
Yes.
this passage from brain to heart to really embodying the
Right.
truth. Like you could say to me when I was in a depression years ago, oh, there's brokenness in your beauty. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
When you're that dark, when you have that dark night of the soul, you're
Mm,
walking through the valley of the shadow of death. My heart lifters really understand this concept. That's why your work, your
mm,
book, but the work behind your book, your story has so much strength in it. It's so important to know that fear, you say, fear no longer dictates.
mm.
No longer dictates. So
Yes.
you also say, on the other hand, when we enter into suffering or enter a dark night of the soul, I love this. Love is always questioned.
Mm,
Why is that? Why help before we talk about implementing beauty?
hmm
Why? I was so intrigued by that. You know, why is love always questioned? It's hitting a little too close to my heart.
mm.
And a
Why
lot
is
of
that?
hearts. I'm going to flip the switch. Well, I mean, my off the top of my head would be that I have what we say in the therapy world an insecure ambivalent attachment. I did not get secure attachment as a child. I did not. I came in an alcoholic home, so I was not seen, known, loved, belonged,
Mm,
heard. And so I think that it's just taken so many years of just digesting that the love of God is pure towards me. It's unconditional. There's no conditions to it.
yeah.
And I just think How can a person be in a state of being where they never question that?
Mm.
Is that a
Yeah.
weird question?
No, no, no. It's not. It's not. It's a real question.
Yeah.
It's one that we wrestle with subconsciously, you know?
Yes,
Because
that's it.
yeah, and like in the book, I talk about people who've experienced the love we've kind of experienced is either deprived or depraved.
Ah, tell me the difference.
So deprived is like you didn't get enough of it.
Mm-mm.
Like it's always like you were underloved. And so
Ooh.
now a lot of the things you do is because of that. And depraved love is it was a controlling kind of love. So you got all the love, but you had to do all the things. So
Oh.
one was this idea of was that I just don't have a time for you. Like it was depraved. It was like you're I'm sorry, you're deprived. You're like I needed this, and sometimes in real life, big families, you find a kid that goes, does no one care about me? Does no
Yes.
one care?
No one sees me. Right.
No one sees me.
No
No
one
one sees
hears
me.
me. Hmm.
Yeah. And so they struggle their whole life with significance. And
Yes.
you know what's fascinating about significance? You know the word significance means? If
I
you look it
can't
up,
pull it out, but you tell me.
it says this. Being worthy of attention.
Yes.
See, so many
Yes.
people are convinced I'm not worthy of attention.
Oh, God.
So what that says is, so now you've got this depraved kind
Mm.
of thinking. You've got love that's, like it's and I think depravity and
Hmm.
and not having enough and both of these kinds of loves work together in a bad way because it's a bad milkshake. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like one says, "Hey, you're not good enough,"
Hmm.
and the other, and you're never gonna get it,
No matter
and the
what you
other
do.
says, "You better try as much as you can to get it. You better not mess up because you got to be perfect."
You better
So
not
it's
mess
like
up or I
this,
won't love you.
yeah.
If you
So it's
stop
this back
performing.
and forth. It's
Yeah,
back
that's
and
so
forth,
good. Have you preached on that?
and
I hope so, because
yeah,
it's so
and
critical.
that's why in the scriptures it says, "Hey, but perfect love,
Cast down.
perfect love casts out all fear and anxiety." Perfect love, and the word "perfect" actually in the text is the word complete,
Whole,
perfected, or
total, whole, mature.
whole, but mature. Now, what's interesting about the word mature is it's basically like it's ripened. It's like a
Hmm.
fruit that's ripened.
Hmm.
Like it won't. There's nothing more to it. So
Right.
God never has a moment that He looks at us and goes, "You know what? I think I love you more today." No,
Ah,
humans do that.
yes.
God goes, I don't think I can. I can't love you more, and I choose to not love you less. So I think that's why I think, and that's why I've talked about how in one of my chapters I talk about how when faith fails,
Yes.
because
Take us
when
there.
people, yeah,
Yes.
so when people talk about faith and they use faith, faith is used for a lot of things in the Christian world. Obviously, we use it to fight fear, and we've said, hey, you know what? We got to be fearless. We got to be faith filled. There's always this always implied that the answer
Hmm.
to fear is having more faith and
Yes.
believing.
Yes.
So the only problem with that is it's not necessarily true. Now, what I mean by that, I know it's a pretty bold statement to say
It's a,
because because in the scriptures, what the scriptures say is that faith is the opposite of fear.
fear.
It's not the solution. Like it doesn't dismantle it. The only thing that does is perfect love casts out fear. And
First
then
John
it says,
4.
yeah. And then he says, yeah, he says, and if you fear, it's because of fear of punishment. And that's because perfect love has not totally been completed in you. Like you haven't totally
Yes.
identified with and believed that, oh, God loves me
Yes.
and I'm found in him. And that sets us free. And so the reason why I connect beauty so much because I talk about in my TEDx talk, I talk about beauty, how
Hmm.
I believe beauty is the solution to fear. It's because
Yes.
I believe that there is an undeniable connection with beauty and love. Like and because people go, well, what do you mean by beauty? Right?
Yes.
Do you
Talk to
mean
us from your artist soul.
yeah, so beauty is very interesting, the word beauty, because the what is beautiful truly is in the eye of the beholder.
Hmm.
And beautiful things does not have to be something that's attractive. Like I think people go, this thing, this person, this opportunity, whatever, is beautiful because it's attractive.
Of course.
That's not it.
Well, that is our
That's not
culture.
beauty.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not talking about being attracted to something.
Hmm.
I'm talking about I'm talking about something that's beautiful, meaning the word beauty means that you make it in one sense, give it more attention and affection than other things. To
Hmm.
make something beautiful, to consider something beautiful, you basically are saying, this is the biggest thing. This is out of all things, this is the one. This
Hmm.
is the thing. This is more beautiful than that, which means to me, this is a bigger deal than that.
Hmm.
And so when you think about that, when you think about, that's what beauty is. So I say, when you make something bigger in front of you than the
Hmm.
fear inside of you, that bigger thing is called beauty. So
Oh,
when you put God's love that's so much bigger in front of you, you have the power to defeat the fear inside of you. And see,
yeah.
you know this, and we know this. I mean, sometimes we struggle so much with like,
Mm.
I don't think I can muster enough faith, enough courage, enough
Yes.
positivity, enough
Hmm.
whatever. I can't play enough.
Affirmation.
Yeah,
What's the word today? Manifesting, right? All
yeah.
of those things. Yes.
All of those things. And
Yes.
what that means
Ah,
is we gotta manufacture this. We
it's
gotta
up to me.
manufacture it. We gotta keep on yes.
It's
And
works.
that,
It's me.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
why, the addiction programs, the first thing they say is you gotta acknowledge, like you got a problem, but then you're unable to fix it. So I'm thinking, why have we not understood
Mm-hmm.
that the biggest fears in us, the biggest
Mm.
anxieties in us, cannot be fixed by something inside of us, but maybe something before us. That's why the psalmist says, I've set the Lord before me. He's right at my right hand.
Yes.
I should not be moved. He's saying, I'm looking at something so beautiful.
Yes.
That's why God would say, go up, look at the skies. You don't believe me?
Hmm.
Go look at the skies.
Just look up.
David goes, when I consider the heavens and the stars, the moon you've made, stars you've ordained, what is man that you're mindful for him? I look at
Mhm.
your majesty. And so
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this book allows people to
Hmm.
say, hey, listen, you can reconcile the past, but today is waiting. And today, what you have to do is you've got to put a beautiful vision, a beautiful community, a beautiful relationship. You got to put
Hmm.
some kind of beauty in front of you
Yeah.
because what you
Life depends
cannot
upon it.
make, yeah, you can't make something or go for something or create beauty without love. You cannot do it. It's impossible.
Can you just give me a little bit more on that? I know that our time is, but
Yeah. So
what does that mean? Is that part of the beautiful vision in chapter
yeah.
10 that I can't create or
Hmm.
see anything without love?
Yeah.
I am right with you, but I want to hear your
Yeah.
take.
So you've got this love, which is identity that comes from God. But then the other thing is that as an artist, like, so if the use of the word, I'm the standard description of an artist, as in I paint on canvas. But then there are
Okay.
people who do artistry in writing,
Hmm.
theater, in work, in business,
Gardening. Right.
being entrepreneur. They're creating beautiful
Yeah.
uh, plans, city plans. People create beautiful families. So we create this beautiful
Hmm.
things. But see, the thing is that once you want to create something that you believe is beautiful, you have to love it.
Mm.
That's why you're committed to it. It comes out as commitment, but you love it. No
Yeah.
one else has to like your family, but you do.
Yes.
You're creating it. No one else likes your drawing, but you do because you
Yes.
love the process. You
Yeah.
love what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
no one. It doesn't matter because you love what
I was
you
a
do.
dancer, so yeah, I loved choreography and I would create and
Right.
I choreograph in my mind,
Yeah.
but I could not do it, right? You just
Right.
can't not do it. You've got to
Yeah.
create it no matter what.
Right.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
so if beauty has to be linked to love, because
Mm.
not, then it's like linked to performance. I do this dance, for example, to
Hmm.
get applause.
Rewarded. Get make a yeah, correct. Make a
I
team.
to
Da, da,
get
da.
something.
Mm-hmm.
That even though you do
Ooh.
if you do a magnificent dance piece,
Hmm.
was it really beautiful to you?
No, you can tell, can't you? You can
Right.
tell on any singing show, Idol, Voice, all these shows, or So You Think You Can Dance.
You
It's
can
you
tell.
can see when someone is when it's coming from their bones,
Yeah. Right.
from their soul. It's
Right.
so recognizable. I see what you're saying. Let me just. I jotted these notes down from your
Yeah.
TEDx because oh my gosh, beauty. We've said this is the solution to fear. But here's what got me. You say fear knows this.
Yeah.
Now that I know more about your story, I think about like Godzilla who walked through your door, right? Who
Yeah.
knew what was right around the corner of your life.
Hmm.
They were fighting for you. They were, wow.
Yeah.
You got to see it. Not all of us see it. I can sense it when
Hmm.
there's that kind of warfare going on in that liminal space. Then
Right.
you say, so if you remove beauty, fear sets in. Beauty involves creating. And then you say, do I have beautiful relationships in my life? Because we all need a reason to live.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think thank you for bringing even more understanding. I've been studying First John 4
Mm.
for the last 3.5 years because I had a situation in my life where I just felt like if I made a decision, a child might abandon me, or it was
Mm.
just something I don't really have permission to talk about. But I was woken in the middle of the night, just went out and God said, read First John 4. And
Mm.
I don't hear him often, but it was like, you cannot read that chapter
Mm.
because it says, if you love me, then you know me
Right.
and you know my love.
Yeah.
And I just went, well, then I guess I don't know you.
Mm.
I guess I don't
Mm.
because I am scared to death of
Mm.
being abandoned.
Yeah.
And it was life changing, but you now are bringing even more understanding for all of us
Mm.
that perfect love
Yeah.
cast out fear. So my attention,
Mm.
my focus, if I'm someone who is trying to move from the past having control on me, right?
Yeah.
I have to embody, like from head to toe, the love of God for me.
Mm.
Is that?
You have to. Yes, yes, you have to. You know, yeah, thanks for sharing that. Because it's so hard um, to walk out the the incredible love that God has for us.
It
Because
is.
there are days you
Why?
wake up and you go like, I don't even know. The world is
Oh,
tiring.
so
The
tiring.
conversations, everything is just, I'm just so tired. I'm so weary. I'm done fighting. I
Hmm.
just don't, why can't things just work out? Like,
Hmm.
why does this have to be so hard? I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
get
get it.
it. I get it.
I'm sure
And
you do. I mean,
yeah,
you can't be in your station within the body of Christ either
right. No,
without having that kind of obstacles and oppression and
yeah.
it's
The great thing about that is because, growing up in Islam, I kind of felt like, I had to prove that I was always worthy of God, and
mm,
most religions, if you think about it, if you really
hmm,
study them, it comes down to that. You got
hmm,
to prove to the God or the gods
hmm,
that you're worthy of them.
yeah,
Then with the gospel is that basically Jesus is like saying, in one sense, he's saying, religions want you to prove that you love God.
yeah,
but I am proof that God loves you.
I know. That's so moving. It's
And
just,
and so what that means is that when he comes down and he lives a life, I mean, just look at the intentionality of God too, because he came in as a child, lived
yeah,
among us, became one of us, lived like us, grew up. So when he grew up in front of us, he grew up in front of God. So that
yeah,
whole idea of like, why would God enjoy seeing a part of himself grow up in
yeah,
humanity?
yeah.
Because God likes to see things grow. So
Oh,
sometimes we
that's
just need
so
to give ourselves a
good.
break,
That's just so good.
right? Because hey, you know what? You're not amazing right now. That's fine. Guess what? God loves to see you grow. That's what he likes. He likes when you get all awkward and he loves the whole part of it. He likes the baby part of your spirituality, the teenage part of your
Yeah.
spirituality, the I'm
Sassy
not
part,
cool. Yeah, or the whole thing. He likes it all. He likes that's why he's like I kind of like the messiness of your growth. I this
yeah.
is the God who grows. He loves to
This
see
is the God
people
who
grow.
grows. You need to write another book on that. That's so
Isn't that crazy?
good. God loves to see you grow. I really know somebody has said that before, but I don't know why all this is hitting me hard today. It's just so right on time, and I'm
Yeah.
so grateful. I just got back from our botanical gardens, and everything's growing. And it's just like that's
Yeah.
why yeah, that's my new thing. Like God likes to
Yeah.
see me grow. Come on, heart lifters. That's
Right.
amazing.
Well, I mean, right in the beginning, he said, you know, when God said, let there be light, what we're realizing right now is that statement is still coming true.
Wow, yeah.
So astrologers are finding out
You are
that there
right.
are, that there is still universes
Growing.
being created even now.
This is so good.
Isn't that crazy?
It's just so good. I can't stop, but I have to.
No, it's crazy.
Gosh. Okay. I gotta catch my breath. I knew it would be like this. So, one step, give us one movement from your work in just this book. Sorry.
Hmm.
One movement forward, as you
Yes.
have moving on, about awakening to bringing beauty and love into our souls, into our life. How can we do that?
Mm. Well, I would say that the premise, if there was one passage of scripture that
Yeah.
was the premise of the thesis of this book, would be the passage in Hebrews where it says, "Hey, look to Jesus because
Mm,
he's the finisher, he's the author and the
author.
finisher of our faith, right?" But then
Hmm.
it says, and here's what he did. He said, he for the joy set before him,
Yeah.
he endured the cross. And so I think right there, um, I think
Mm,
as the one simple step is that hey, the kind of like like the hack
I
of
like that.
life is you've got to put us joy in front of you
Oof.
to endure your crosses. So you've got to do that because Jesus saw a beautiful humanity
Mm,
that was worth dying for. He
did.
pictured a check this out though. He
Imagined.
imagined a humanity who was that humans were temples of God's spirit. He saw
Hmm.
that the Spirit of God could reside in them and they could
Hmm.
have an open heaven relationship. And that even though hard times would happen, Jesus said, I've overcome the world.
Hmm.
Like he saw something that if he could go through torture, go through the
Hmm.
cross, go through death, it would redeem us, rescue us, but then it would just reconnect us to God.
Brilliance. Hmm.
What is a joy? What brings me joy?
Love it.
Like very practical, what brings me joy? And is it something that I've put before me?
Hmm.
You know, sometimes, and you know this, I mean,
Hmm.
sometimes it's as easy as, not easy, but sometimes as simple as, I like a beautiful place.
I love a beautiful place. Yes. That's why
Right.
I went to the
Uh,
gardens today.
yeah.
Yes.
Hey, what brings me joy? Well, go there. Do
Yeah.
that thing. Do that thing.
Hmm.
I don't know if people realize this. Jesus exists in joy.
Mm,
God exists in joy.
he does.
I mean, he
Yes.
sits with us in sadness, but he is in joy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just
get
talking about it like makes me start
right.
smiling. I'm already
Yeah.
thinking I want to go to the Outer Banks. I want to go. Where do I want to go? I want to go. Yeah.
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 And that's a discipline. It to me,
Mhm.
it's a rhythmic practice of my faith.
Yes. Even researchers have written about the idea of like expressing joy is the most vulnerable thing people can do.
Oh,
So like sometimes that's why people, when they laugh, they cover their faces, they cover their mouth.
just
Because you
okay.
know what they think? They think I look terrible laughing out loud.
I have such a loud laugh. It's embarrassing.
Right. So
Yes.
it's the most vulnerable thing to do. So just think about it. Is it
Yeah,
hard
because
for you to surround yourself with joy and laughter? Yes, it is. Is
yeah,
it vulnerable? Yes, it is. But is it necessary for your soul? Absolutely.
it is. Children have no
So
problem doing that. Mm-mm.
correct.
No, and my little grands, they're 3 and under. Now they don't mock me. It's just like I go because I laugh
Right.
so big, and now they go.
It's awesome though.
All right, I'm
See?
not going to cover my mouth anymore. I'm just going to laugh because I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Okay.
Yes. Do it.
I can't thank you enough. Oh, my heart
Oh.
lifter, my community. I know that they are just going to get so much out of this book and be able to add the necessary missing piece
Mhm.
to a beautiful, meaningful, eudaimonious life, and that's beauty. And
Oh.
you have brought your artistry to us today, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, that's my prayer. My prayer is that anyone who is listening to this and who has heard maybe a thought from either their fears or the enemy of their soul, hey, tomorrow doesn't need me. No one needs me. That's a lie. That's a lie. Tomorrow needs you. Someone else's tomorrow needs you.
That's
if you're
just a
parent,
prayer. I'm sorry, go.
yeah. And I'm hoping this will, not confine people to like. Can I read one last thing to
Oh,
you?
I asked you to. Please, yes.
Yeah. So I just want to read this because I feel like this is just communicates the heart of this book.
Okay.
So I say this. I said this book is dedicated to all of us who've ever felt paralyzed by our fears and failures. Because I don't know if you know this, but I have dyslexia and dysgraphia. So
I heard you say your daughter has.
yeah,
My daughter has dyslexia. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do too. So
Wow.
like, yeah, this writing this book was so hard for me. But anyways,
Oh, sure.
so I said, so this book is dedicated to all of us who've ever felt paralyzed by fears and failures, to all of us who have been through unimaginable trauma and pain, and to all of us who've been going through grief and despair, and to all of us who experienced the ugliness of this world. But this book is also a declaration to our fears and our failures, to our trauma and our pain, to our grief and our despair. You will not imprison us.
No.
So
Mhm.
that's my
That's a blessing.
my
Mhm.
Yeah.
Benediction.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for having me.
You're so
Hope
welcome.
it's been helpful. Yeah.
You brought us hope, and that is your whole desire, I know. So
Oh,
thank you.
you.